The judge called my name as my phone started ringing. I never imagined the day my child was born would happen inside an American courthouse. Not in a hospital hallway. Not with my family around me. Not with happiness and relief. But in a narrow wooden room where my future depended on a stranger in a black robe. The moment my name echoed through the courtroom, my phone began to vibrate in my pocket. I froze. Everyone was looking at me, the judge, the government attorney, my lawyer, while my phone buzzed again, louder this time, like it was trying to pull me out of that room. I wasn't supposed to have it on. I wasn't supposed to answer. But I already knew who it was. My wife was in labor. I'm Ukrainian. I came to the United States legally, long before my life became a collection of court dates, forms, and silent prayers. I didn't come chasing fantasies. I came because the place I called home was slowly becoming impossible to live in. When you leave your country, people think you leave things behind. They're wrong. You carry everything with you: fear, guilt, memories, responsibility. Especially responsibility. I landed in the U.S. with 2 suitcases and a promise to myself, don't mess this up. For a long time, I didn't. I worked. I paid taxes. I followed rules so carefully that sometimes it felt like breathing too loudly might get me in trouble. I avoided attention. I avoided mistakes. I avoided everything that could put my name on a list. That worked, until life stopped being simple. I met my wife at a place neither of us wanted to be. A laundromat. I was folding clothes after a night shift, half asleep, when she asked me if the machine next to mine was free. Her accent gave her away immediately, she was Ukrainian too. We talked while the machines hummed in the background. About home. About missing things we couldn't explain. About how strange it feels to live in a country where everything is possible, but nothing is guaranteed. We didn't fall in love fast. We were careful. 2 immigrants understand risk differently. But eventually, careful turns into close. Close turns into family. When she got pregnant, fear came back into my life with a new shape. It wasn't just about me anymore. Every appointment, every document, every letter in the mail felt heavier. I wasn't just protecting my future, I was protecting someone who hadn't even been born yet. That's when my past caught up with me. Not because I committed a crime. Not because I broke the law. But because the immigration system doesn't forget anything, even when people do. A paperwork issue. A misunderstanding. A delayed response at the worst possible time. Suddenly, I wasn't just an immigrant. I was a case. Immigration court doesn't look like TV. There's no drama. No shouting. Just quiet tension and lives reduced to files. You sit there listening to lawyers talk about you in the third person, as if you're a problem that needs to be solved instead of a person who needs to be understood. That morning, my wife was 9 months pregnant. We thought we had time. We were wrong. I remember sitting on the hard wooden bench, my hands folded together, repeating the same sentence in my head over and over. Please don't let today be the day everything ends. The judge called my name. And that's when my phone vibrated. Once. Twice. My heart stopped. I looked at my lawyer, panic on my face. He whispered, "If it's an emergency, answer." I stepped into the hallway, my legs barely holding me up. I answered. "She's pushing." Those were the only words I heard. The hallway felt suddenly too small. Too bright. Too real. I was about to become a father, and I didn't know if I would be allowed to stay in the same country as my child. I went back into the courtroom, my mind split in two. The judge noticed immediately. He asked if everything was all right. I hesitated. Then I told the truth. My wife is in labor. The room went silent. The government attorney looked uncomfortable. My lawyer froze. The judge leaned back slightly in his chair. He asked me one question. Is this your first child? I nodded. And something shifted. The hearing continued, but nothing felt the same anymore. Every word carried weight. Every sentence mattered more than before. When the government attorney spoke about procedures and timelines, I wasn't hearing policy. I was hearing distance. When my lawyer spoke about my work history and clean record, I wasn't hearing defense. I was hearing hope. And when the judge finally looked at me, not at my file, not at the papers, but at me, I knew this was the moment that would define my child's life. He asked me why I came to the United States. I told him the truth. About leaving home. About starting over. About building something stable instead of running forever. Then he asked me why I wanted to stay. I didn't mention opportunity. I didn't mention money. I said one thing. My child will be born today. And I want to be the kind of father who doesn't disappear. The judge didn't interrupt. He let the silence stretch. Then he said something I will never forget. This court deals with laws. But laws exist to serve people, not erase them. Minutes later, my phone buzzed again. A photo. My child. Small. Wrinkled. Perfect. I didn't cry in the courtroom. But my hands were shaking. The judge made his decision shortly after. I won't describe it in dramatic terms. Because what mattered wasn't the words. It was the timing. I walked out of that courtroom knowing I could go to the hospital. Knowing I could hold my child. Knowing I wasn't leaving my family behind. That night, sitting in a hospital room, my wife asleep beside me, my child in my arms, I understood something deeply. Immigration isn't just about borders. It's about moments. Moments you can't repeat. Moments you either show up for, or miss forever. I don't know what the future holds. I know the system is imperfect. I know not everyone gets the outcome I did. But I also know this. That day, an American judge didn't just decide a case. He gave a child a father. And that is something I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Should life events matter in immigration decisions, or should the law always be blind?